Oh, hi there. Um, I wanted to talk about four particular words in this video. Um, Two of these words are way overused as far as what I can see from my social media. I don't know if it's different for other people or whatever, but for me, these words are overused and they're not actually, they're most certainly not applicable to me. But I do see in regular mainstream media that everyone gets that these words are often used as well. And okay, um, two of these words are misogyny, a dislike of women, contempt of women, all that sort of thing. Not for that at all. Many spectacular women out there. Just they're able to, they're just very good people. And unfortunately, the other word is cuckold, uh, which is, unfortunately, when a male accepts that another male is moving in on his chick, and quite often, and it's most certainly a word that's used a lot in pornography and things like that on the internet. And if you've not been following my channel, I despise internet pornography. I can't stand it in the least. If I didn't have to watch it again, I really wouldn't. But as an involuntary celibate, I need something a little more animate than just papers in a book. Although they're not bad sometimes. I did stop buying Playboy when they introduced the first transgendered issue. That was, the final nail in the coffin on that one, unfortunately. I don't really have enough money. At this point in time, I haven't worked in 11 months, so, I wasn't sure what the next edition was going to look like, and, if that was, the precedent that that was going to be the norm, I was just going to slowly back away. Anyway, getting back to those two words, misogyny, it's turned into a word that's a bit like bigot or Nazi or racist or whatever. It's become one of those words where somebody says it and then it like turns into mob mentality where that person becomes demonized for being called that, and it may not exactly, even be even close to accurate. And because the reality is, people are, they are dumb as fuck. There are so many people who are just so stupid. It's like all the thousands of years of human evolution have just not gone far enough. I'm sorry to say, but there are people who are so stupid that yes, it's amazing. And I'm talking people with years under their belt, like they're 40, 50, 60, whatever. And it takes one word that somebody calls somebody and it triggers them, and they don't stop to ask why or how or any questions at all. It becomes mob mentality, and they just believe what they're told. And well, okay, and getting to the other word that I obviously don't like as a heterosexual male is that cuckold has become fairly commonplace, most certainly on things like Pornhub, X-Hamster, whatever. Those are the fairly standard pornography, free pornography websites. I do not like pornography for a lot of reasons. A lot of bad things happen because of it. It's a really dirty, very gritty industry. Um, it makes an absurd amount of money. It perpetuates the idealization of mutilation. Um, well, and in men and women. With women, it's all about, getting fake breasts, and other, things that they do. And with men, it's just all about them being circumcised, which is, that's mutilation. If someone comes along and snips a part of your penis off, that's not having your hairstyle. That's called genital mutilation. They don't come out and say that in today's society because there's still a lot of men out there that do have circumcised penises. And I guess they don't want to hurt their feelings, but the truth is, you got a mutilated penis. And it was a Jewish tradition that brought that on about. And I suppose if you're in the desert and water was scarce, then, that'd be a problem. But, in today's modern day time, especially here in Canada where water's not scarce, you can afford to wash your dick. So, that shouldn't be an issue. Okay? And yeah, getting back to cuckolding. It's not a word I like hearing, especially as an involuntary celibate. I don't like those words. I don't like interracial relationships and things like that. I have a bias. I admit, if I had my own chick, you know, I'd be, it's not my business, whatever. You do what you want kind of attitude. I wouldn't, think about it too much. But obviously, as a man who hasn't been with a woman in a long time and has been told very little of what chick activity is like around me, because actually, involuntary celibates actually do have chick activity around them. They just aren't supposed to know about it. And I don't, for the most part. I mean, I have made videos before where I've said, like, look, I'm going to reject chicks, some of them that come around for reasons that, some other guys just ain't going to understand. Because some of it is about power. And it's not that I want power, it's just that I'm not going to let them push their ideological beliefs onto me through manipulation of sex. And cuckolding's example, interracial relationships is another one, and that sort of stuff. Like, I will turn around and point out, no, I don't like this. No, it's rude to me that you're bringing this to my situation based on what I've been through because of some screwed up sense that all men should behave the exact way you want them to. Well, I mean, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Actually, I'm not. But your ideological beliefs are, what's an appropriate word? Moronic. They go against every instinct a male has. And, we're not like women. Most men are just not going to put up with it. Woman wants to be that way. Guess what? She's gone because they are replaceable. They like to think that they're not, but they are. There's always some other bitch out there. And I don't want to say that. I don't want to sound like the mean guy. I don't want to sound like the grouch because there are a few chicks that I actually really really like, and it may not be their fault that certain situations paint them in a light that's not favorable towards me, just because of mob mentality. I understand that one person or a few people they just they can't push back greater numbers with any modicum of success unless they get a little bit of divine assistance. Because there are some women out there that I've never met who are interested in me, um, physically attractive, in the right circumstances, perfectly acceptable women, but with the context of how they would want to enter my life and what they are doing, it's similar to how I said before about the respect thing. How somebody can be respected for all the right reasons, they've done everything right, except when it comes to a certain individual, in this case myself, they've not behaved in a respectful manner towards me. So, although they are respectable characters, I don't have to respect them because, obviously they were trying to cause me, a lot of problems. So, I'll take that into consideration. But as far as getting rid of them, throwing them out like last week's newspaper, no problem at all. Uh, these are mostly, leeches, uh, deformed individuals that call themselves men, who've caused most of my problems. And, there are women out there that I've never met before, as I said, and, like, they may get introduced as friends of friends of mine, and maybe to some varying degrees they are. I mean, I'll never know because they just won't ever tell me. But I'm gonna go out of my way and be an asshole about it just because I can. After the world's treated me the way it has, if I don't see sufficient evidence to look at things from a different perspective, I'm going to tell them to get lost. And I'm not going to care if they've been waiting a long time to see me or if they worked hard or any of that shit. I just will not care because they are contradicting what I want to do with my life. And if they start screwing around and pissing off the chicks that I do like and scaring them away, then you're not getting any brownie points with me. I'm not awarding bad behavior. And if they don't like it, well, that's just too fucking bad. And I'm actually in a unique situation where there are women out there that like me that I've never met who have had either, solid boyfriend or multiple boyfriends, who knows, and they didn't like me from the start, were mean, saw the error in their ways, try to redeem themselves a little bit. These friends of these women aren't ever going to like me, both men and women. They're never going to like me. That's just a fact. Um, and they will actually get mad if I up and reject said women. And you know, it's not that they'll just attack me because they'll most certainly do that. They'll throw every slur they can at me. Because in today's society, some things are considered a compliment and some things are considered a slur. We live in a society where Justin Trudeau says LGBTQ, that's all good and well, but it's also an insult when people come along and start calling you a homo and things like that because the context is different and the consequences of being called that are altered based on the situation. So some people see things as compliments, and some people see it as an insult. And I would see that as an insult because it would, obviously attract the wrong kind of attention. Um, with that being said, I can see that these mystery women that I don't know about, I could see them manipulating events so that, the chicks I do like are scared off. And if I reject them, the women, causing the problems that I don't know about, they also have men that will be pissed off with me because I'm making their woman feel sad. And when you think about it, all this is fucking screwed up. Like, these are the people that were causing me the problems in the first place. They were the ones messing around. And then, a little bit in the future from now, I turn around and tell them to fuck off like they deserve. And it's like, I'm the villain? Excuse me, no, 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 no. You're the fucking asshole. Uh, in a different context to when I said I was one. And the wrong kind of one. And get lost. You have no right being around me. Or my social media or anything like that. All right, fine. You can watch my social media. It means I might make more money. But other than that, you got no business being around me. If I say for any damn reason that a person's not allowed around me, that's what's happening. And believe me, I've got solid reasons for saying I don't want that fucker around me. With that being said, the two other words I wanted to bring up that are never mentioned in mainstream media, in pornographic websites, the internet, whatever. And they exist, and Involuntary celibates should know these words. One of them is called misandry or misandress. It is women that hate men. Okay? When people think of involuntary celibate, they think of radical men because of what the television says and what women say involuntary celibates are. And really, they're misandrous that say these things because maybe they had a rotten experience with men. That's got nothing to do with us guys. Feel real bad for you if you weren't such a bitch, but you know, it's you're gonna be a bitch. You're gonna be a bitch. You're a problem for me. And misandrists hate men. Okay, that's a word that people don't know. A lot of people don't know that fucking word, man. And it's it's the opposite of misogyny. So it's just common sense that that word would exist. And it's this perpetuation that all men are evil and they do bad things and yada 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 yada. And the thing is, although it's true in a lot of cases, don't act like women are all angels because they're far from it. And they cause just as many problems. And as far as like things like bar fights, even car accidents, just bad things happening, women are equally responsible as men. Whether they're the distraction, the cause, or they fucked up themselves. Okay, so there's that. And there's also another word. I was surprised by how it was spelled, and I have never seen this word anywhere. I knew it had to exist, but I've never actually seen it seen. And it's called Queen. The Queen part is spelled Quean. I would have thought it was two E's, but it's not for whatever reason. And usually, when you Google definition something, you can click a little button and you'll hear what it's pronounced like. I had to go out of my way onto YouTube to hear that, and that's the opposite. That's when a man's cheating on his woman with another woman, and that woman has to accept it, whether it's visual, same as cuckolding, or just knowing about it, or whatever. And that's it's a double-edged sword. Uh, you know, Men and women can play that game if they want. I don't think it's beneficial to a healthy relationship. I don't think it's a good idea, and it's not something I would want to be a part of. And if, there are women out there that have maneuvered their way into somehow getting closer to me, and that's the way they think, they're going to get a negative response from me because I'm not going to agree with their ideology. And they are nowhere near intelligent enough to convince me that I'm wrong and that they are right. Because they're pieces of trash, really, just trash. I don't care if they're worth a lot of money. I don't care if they got perky tits. I don't care if they got a nice ass. I don't care if they are well kempt or whatever. If they have that ideological mindset, they are a problem, and really, just trash. They're just trash, and I don't want them around me. And as an involuntary celibate, man who hasn't touched a woman in a long time, I could see people twisting my words, saying, well, you really mean that you're into this or that. Don't tell me what the fuck I'm into, okay? You have got no right at all. Come at me, I'll fucking tell you to get lost if I don't like you. It's as simple as that. And, people gotta understand that. I don't care who you are. I don't care who respects you. If I don't respect you, you're getting the fuck out of here. Simple as that. So I would prefer that these bitches, assholes, and whomever else are causing the chicks I like, and other people that I don't mind as friends and things like that, problems, they're going to get a big fuck off. And it's going to be embarrassing for them, and I will have no moral qualms about doing it. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up, and I'll talk to you guys later. And also, fuck my people that I do not like. All right.